Hey everybody, Jonathan here, JD Rarities, and today's video is about coin dipping. Is it appropriate? If so, when is it appropriate? What's the difference between dipping and doctoring? Is dipping coins frowned upon or is it not? So I have my notes here and let's start to get into it. What is coin dipping? The term dipping has a particular meaning in the field of coin collecting, and you shouldn't take it too literally. If a coin is literally dipped in acetone or ammonia, it's not being dipped in the sense that the term is used in the field of coin collecting. If you're just removing the dirt and scuff or substances that are loosely resting on a coin's surface, like if it was found buried underground or it was in a basement somewhere and it's built up some debris, you dip that coin into something and you take it out. That's not the way they use the term dipping. Even though it's controversial, that's not dipping a coin. The definition of dipping a coin is this: the immersion of a coin in a solution that contains acid for the purpose of stripping the toning and the metal from the surface to make the coin brighter and whiter. And a coin that's dipped will often become bright white. That's a different type of solution. That's what they mean by dipping. And it's mostly for silver coins. For gold coins, obviously it doesn't look whiter, although it kind of does. Dipped gold coins, they might be a white gold or a bright yellow gold color, and frequently gold coins become bright orange when they're dipped for the purpose of stripping away toning or making them look more appealing. That's dipping, not when you put it into some kind of solution just to remove certain debris. Then you have coin doctoring. That's completely off the reservation. Coin doctoring is when an expert is adding putty and doing it in a really good way. They're really skilled at it and they're trying to cover up surface distractions. That's deception, and that's bad. When it comes to dipping a coin, you can send these coins to the PCGS. When you send a bright white coin to the PCGS or the NGC, it's obvious that the coin has been dipped, and the dipping is obvious to them. And doing something that's obvious to experts or even to an intermediate collector is not an attempt to deceive. It's only when you market these coins to beginners and say they haven't been dipped, because although it's controversial, you can dip a coin to make it look whiter. It can get graded, sometimes in a 68, 67, really high grades, and be okay. And you're doing it obviously, unless you're trying to deceive a beginner. Then that also is deception. There's no need to try to deceive somebody at the PCGS or the NGC about a dipped coin. Graders at these services will assign very high grades, like I said, to coins that are obviously dipped. Here's the harm done. Since dipping removes metal and toning and some other elements at or near the surfaces, much of the character and history of a coin is destroyed. Some people argue that the result is a more desirable coin. I like to maintain the integrity of the coins. I prefer coins that are not dipped. Will I buy graded coins that have been dipped and have that bright white? Yes, there are other elements of a coin that will get it a very high grade. I will buy those. But if you ask me my preference, fully original luster. The coin looks great, but not because it was dipped. It looks great because it had a lucky life and it is great. I prefer those. Here's a key. Many of the coins in these big collections, Eliasberg, Garrett, if you're familiar with these names, they're big coin collectors. They were all categorized by certain patterns of natural toning. When these coins are dipped, a lot of the history of the coin is erased and its pedigree may never again be conclusively documented. The truth is, when these coins get that dirt and debris or the wear and tear, they begin to tone in a certain kind of way, which gives it this amazing uniqueness. When you dip that coin because you just want it to look bright white, the first thing that happens, the reason that these chemicals were created, was to strip away toning. So would you rather have an originally beautifully toned coin or a bright white coin? It's up to you to choose. Both coins will get graded. What's your preference? The case can be made that dipping is okay if you're not deceiving. But people hear dipped and they will automatically think bad, no good. Not necessarily true, unless your preference is an original coin. Most sophisticated collectors and most other experts, though not everyone, would agree that there are at least some cases where the harm done by dipping is outweighed by the benefits. I spoke on this a minute ago. If harmful materials have attached to the coin, in some cases, dipping is the least harmful way of removing those materials. If a coin is improperly stored in some peculiar setting or was living below ground, undesirable substances may have bonded to the surface. And in some instances, the acid in a standard coin dip is the best way to remove such undesirable substances. The acid does amazing things to the coin. You rub your fingers around it, you can wash the dirt come off it. Then you run it under cold water and you dry it in a paper towel. You'll watch that stuff strip away. However, if you don't use a substance and you just use ammonia, the first level of defense, one clean dip, anything loose will fall away. You won't compromise that coin. There is no need to go deeper into making that coin bright and amazing and white. Unless you know that's what some people want, which they do, and so long as you're honest about it, then it is okay. Some people prefer those bright, blast white coins. I understand that. There are different ways to collect. That's what I have for you today in terms of dipping and doctoring, which is full-blown deception. The grading services will acknowledge an obviously dipped coin and grade it very, very high because there are so many other factors that influence the coin. It comes down to personal preference. Make sure you speak with your dealer about what your preference is. Try both and see what you like. Have a good day. Have a great week. God bless you.